Hi guys and welcome back. So today we're going to continue the waterproof drone build, and this is going to be the third video but part 2 of the build. I'll leave the playlist down below. This is the second video was of us popping off this VTX shielding here, which was super awesome, and we actually got to waterproof the insides of this, so this is very good. I really do like this, and it's cheap, so that's even a big plus. So today what we're going to do is we're going to set these up on the frame, the X210 frame, and set up the flight controller also on the frame. Now I'm kind of debating right now because maybe we should actually put, it's a bit kind of tricky, but what I'm thinking about doing is we need it flipped so we can actually waterproof this side. But what I'm thinking of doing, we're going to solder everything, and then we'll remove 2 motors, flip them up, that way it'll allow us to flip this over, and then we can coat this, and then we come back, and we should be able to do all the soldering today and the coating, and then hopefully on part 3 will be flying it. So that's the goal right now. So these are completely done here, and if you missed that, like I said before, I'm gonna leave a playlist down below. You can check it out and see everything we've done so far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the motors on the frame and the flight controller, and then we get started. So give me a moment and I'll be back, guys. Alright guys, so I have the motors installed. I just have 2 screws holding them. I did add some soft mounted O-rings here. I just put them right there. You can get these from Banggood, or you can get them from anywhere really. So I did that right there. I just set this in place right now to prepare it to start soldering. And now what we need to take note of is, this is what I'm debating on. Should we wrap around with tape, or should we just use a heat shrink? But I think a heat shrink would be better, but I could be totally wrong, but we will figure that out as time goes on. So I'm going to use heat shrink here. I'm going to use red heat shrink to kind of go with the theme here. So we're going to just shrink these on these bad boys right there. And yeah, we're going to take it from there. So let me just actually put this through. I'm not going to shrink it just yet, just in case we have an issue with one. However, they should be all totally fine. I've never, put an ESC which wasn't working. So, I mean, I see they're usually very reliable. I have yet to have that happen to me. But that had happened to me once on a 4-1 ESC. And it was actually from Airbot, so very disappointed. But they actually replaced it, so right away. But that's very good of them. But it's very rare to get these ESCs to be broken just like just right out of the box. So that's very good. I have to start shrinking some of these wires because it's getting too messy here. So I'm just going to put them, like I said, and I'm not going to shrink them, and we're going to start soldering these wires here. And what I'm going to do is also to the receiver, because hopefully you're following along and doing kind of the same thing I'm doing here. I'm going to be using this receiver, and I'll explain why later. This is going to be a very good one here. And I'm also going to be modifying the VTX here. I'm going to remove this, and we're going to replace it with one of these. And I'll show you how to make one of these. So this is better for me because I'm going to end up breaking the antenna. Alright, so right now, let's just start cutting them to length. Let's just move the wires out of the way. The heat shrink on it should protect it from from scratching, from moving it just like this and scratching off the conformal coating we've added. So I'm just going to just bend them nice and easy. I don't want to add too much pressure here. And yeah, there we go. So let's start with this motor then, since it's right in front of us. So let's just take a better look here. I'm going to prepare the soldering station. As you can see, there's already some solder on this board. I used this one for testing a while back. And I really like this board. Now, I could trust this board. This is what I'm trying to say. I know it's good. I've tested it, and so one of my favorite quads also. So this board is very good. It doesn't have a super sensitive gyro. It has that perfect gyro, Betaflight OSD, F4, and it just works. So, and it has some filtration for the VTX, which is even better and better. So I really do like this here. So let me prepare the soldering station, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, so everything's ready. Let's begin. So what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to remove the standoffs, because I really don't want to melt it and actually go start looking for another one, because this size I'm actually running out from it. So I do have a bunch of them, but it's just because of my favorite size. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to retouch these. Just wait until it gets nice and easy. And guys, if you just think that some of them, some of your solder joints are just tiny bit bridged, don't turn it on. I just have a guy who was following one of my builds, and I'm helping him out right now. And I feel bad for the guy. He has just V-in bridged with 5 volt, and hopefully he didn't burn his flight controller. So that's something to take note of, and just try to be careful of. So yeah. Alright, so we're just going to touch this. So we're going to start with motor 4 here. There we go. And we're going to be using iBus. So what is that? I can't really read that. Maybe on the camera I can. Is that RX6? What is this? This doesn't. Oh, this is S6. So we're going to put our iBus right here because we're going to be using iBus. So we're going to enable serial RX for UART6 like this on this board. And let's just take a look here. And now we have ground. It's right there. This will be power for our 5-volt. This would be power for our, what is it called? Our receiver. And there's the camera next to it. And I'm just going to retouch those. As you can see, those 5-volt cam and ground. So make them nice and shiny again. Okay, that's very good. And I'm not going to go here because I don't want to burn this just yet. So we're just going to do the signal here. Perfect. Right? That is awesome. So let's just start with this ESC now. Zoom out here. And yeah, so alright, so we have this guy here and we want him to be right there. It's going to be flipped. As you can see, this is ground and we have positive here. So we need positive here. Now if you go like this, you're going to have issues. Do you know why? Because the standoff is going to be here, so you got to take note of that. So let's just double check the clearance that we have here before we take a step. And don't route under. Don't make it super nice and clean, all these routed wires. The longer these are, the worse you're going to have issues. You're going to have a lot more issues. And I have been testing that right now, and I'm trying to get just perfect results on that so I could come back and show you guys. But so far, it seems that longer wires do increase issues. Let's leave it at that. They do make problems, actually, guys. So just be very careful. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to... I really don't want to make this wire longer. It'll fit here, but I have to be very careful every time I put the top on. So that's fine. But we're just going to let it, you know, sink in the back a little bit, like that. And then we're going to just solder it like this, because this way we could push it. Because when the solder is going to get sucked through here, it's going to make this all hard. So, yeah, that's what she said. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So let's start with this one. Twist them. And let's get going. Probably going to be doing a live stream very soon. I miss you guys, to be honest. People that usually watch me, it's very fun. I really do enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoy it as well. Alright, so we're going to grab our hemostats. Every tool I'm going to use, I'm going to just name it, because sometimes I get asked a lot of these questions, but I really don't have that time to answer. I just read it, and I'm just like be about to drive somewhere, and then I'm just like trying to write it, and then the connection goes, and it's terrible. So as you can see, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to apply force now. There we go. We're going to grab our this right here. Just hold it. Let go. And when I blow on it, you know, I don't blow on it to make it cool down quicker, just to get the smoke out of my face, so I don't turn on the fan, which is just, it's very loud, and it'll probably annoy most of you. So here we are going to ground these wires. We're going to use a signal ground, so we're just going to wrap it around with this ground here, and it should be good. So try to keep also your signal just wrapped around like that. It provides some kind of shielding, so it's very good. It doesn't hurt. It's very bad. I mean, it can't hurt, you know. It can only improve, if you know what I mean. So let's just do this, guys. Okay, we need to make it a little bit less here. Okay, so about here is fine. Yeah, so I'm gonna cut that right there, and we're gonna solder that guy. There we go. I forgot which ESCs these are, the HakRC or the UFO. They're both the same thing, but I forgot which ones that I have waterproofed here. The link will be down below. You guys will know, and then I'll remember once I see the previous video. So we just added some solder on that wire, and we should actually get some tweezers here. Alright, so There we go. I'll zoom in for you guys to see. I have my soldering station running at 368 degrees Celsius. See, we kind of damaged it here, but it's going to be pretty stiff. So I'm just going to leave that for now. Should be fine. Now we need to grab these two guys. So let's just see how we're going to route him through here. Okay, perfect. And then we're just going to add this guy there. So about there is totally fine. I think it's going to be good right here. So as you can see. Okay. We don't want them to be too much in the way, because don't forget our battery straps also. It's going to be a pain if it rips in the field, and this frame just loves doing that. It's ridiculous how much I rip battery straps on this frame. I know to sand it down, but sometimes I don't have the time to actually do that on all of them. So so what we're going to do is we're going to make this a little bit longer here, but we're not going to keep it long. The reason why I'm going to do it long is so we can grab the signal, the signal ground here, and we can wrap it around and just add some solder to make them hold to each other, and it'll make it a lot better for us and easier. So wrap this guy. Okay, I'm just gonna wrap him here. Actually, we should have probably made him a bit longer, but I think it'll be fine. Perfect. Now we're gonna add solder to these guys right here, and then we could trim off anything extra. That wasn't perfect, but it's fine. Shit happens. Okay, there we go. That wire melting, the other wire, because it's coming from the signal, the ground, actually smelled like a barbecue. It's crazy. Maybe I'm hungry. Okay, so I don't want to grab the other wire because I don't want to ruin it. The silicone wire is going to be the good one to grab here. So we're going to hold it right there. And we come with the beautiful soldering iron. Very good. So let's take a look at this now. And are these close? No, they're good. They're not going to be touching anytime soon. So far, this is very good. This is going very good. I mean, it's just the first thing we've done here, but it's good. Now we just close this guy and move to the next ones. So I'm going to skip over the rest. It's going to be the same exact thing that I did here. And yeah, I'll be back once it's ready, so we can see what's the next step. Alright guys, so the ESC soldering is basically complete here. However, this is very dirty down here. I'm going to clean that up in a bit. But what we can see here is basically I just put everything in and everything just went perfect. The reason they came out pretty ugly in a way, because I don't know, for some reason it's opposite. The positive is on the other side and the negative, and then I had to route it just to make sure when I close this, it won't get in the way. So now what we're going to do is we're going to prepare the VTX for soldering. Or actually, we should wait on the VTX a tiny bit. Or actually, no, what we're going to do is actually we're going to take some of these wires. We're going to take 3 of these wires here, and we're going to solder them to the flight controller where the VTX is supposed to go. And we will also take, I think, 3 normal wires for the camera, because I think we're going to rip this off here and solder directly to it. So this is a foxeer, or this is a Chinese clone. This is a Chinese clone, I think, yeah. So this is a Chinese clone here, and yeah. So that's what I think we're gonna do here. Unless you want to do some corrosion X, you can do that, but I don't have any, and I'm not gonna wait for any, and I'm not gonna order any. So this is what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna rip this off and solder the wires that I need on here, and then coat it, and then stick that thingy back on the back cover, and then obviously we'll have a little hole here through the back cover, and what I'm going to do is put hot glue because this thing doesn't get hot, so the hot glue will just stay there, and we should be good. I think that's the best way to do it for right now, but I'm sure some of you have better ideas, and I would love to hear that down there. But for our first test, or first ever waterproof quad on this build, and my first quad, I think this is what I'm going to do. I think this is the safest route. Now I know here we might have some leakage from water, but we're gonna just that's why we're using something cheap. So we're gonna actually just give it a test. Hopefully it'll last, and we'll see as time goes on. So all right, well, let's prepare the wires now for, let's see, what do we want? Okay, where are the wires? Okay, so right here I have myself a couple nylon tiny wires, and what I'm going to do is we're going to do the VTX back here. Or actually, before that, let's just stick a battery in and see if everything boots up. Hopefully nothing catches on fire, because I have not. So we should hear a sound here, or see a fire, one of those two. So then we know we either did something good, or we either just we have to start from zero again. One's off balance, but that's fine. Just updating the ESCs, we should be fine. And that's why you should always turn them on with no propellers. That's fine. That's pretty crazy, yeah? Is it armed? Let's actually plug it in. Let's see what's up here. Alright, so plugging it in, I see it's set to 1 shot, 125, and we're going to set a D shot 600 for right now. And save and reboot. And now we're going to plug in the battery. Beautiful. That is just perfect. Alright. Actually, let's do the motors real quick. Figure out which motors need changing. So, where's the back? We're watching the back. Okay, so let's just do this. Let's check all motors. These guys have power. So, alright. Okay, that one's working. That one's working. 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 Now let's check the orientation. So, here's motor 1, which is wrong. Perfect. Motor 2. Perfect, it's correct. So 2 is correct, 1 is wrong. So 3 should be incorrect also. 3, no, actually 3 is correct. I mean 4 should be incorrect. So 1 and 4 should be wrong here. Yeah. 1 and 4, so we just take that and take that as a note here. Good thing I'm recording, so I'll remember this. So 1 and 4 needs changing in BL 32. So maybe actually we can do that now. Or no, we'll leave it for later. Maybe we'll make a video on that. So everything's working. That's perfect. The ESCs are working absolutely beautiful. And now what we were going to do, let me prepare the wires, and we're going to start soldering the VTX here, the VTX wires here. So we should be good to go. So the VTX pads are pretty much, I think they have corrosion on them, or just very old, dried up flux here. So I'm just gonna reheat it with flux, because I tried to do it earlier and shit. Hold on, this brush basically disintegrated that's in the flux here. So I'm just gonna hit it with flux here, hoping that it'll burn that right off, and you can get some solder to stick, because I tried to do it a little bit earlier and it wouldn't stick on that pad, so I just left it so we can see if it'll fix it right now, or we might need a toothbrush or something to clean that off. So seems like it's stuck. I can't really tell without the camera here. So yeah, just a moment. The solder got stuck on the motor. Alright, I think that's good. we don't get video feed, we know why. We'll just have to clean that, but I believe it seems like it's good. So yeah, so that's gonna be fine here. So let's grab a couple wires here. And I got myself positive and negative. These are tiny ones. I just cut them off of things, and I keep all the wires. So whenever you cut, like especially these, you cut them off. Don't throw them in the trash. Keep them. I keep all my wires, just in case. You never know. And they do come in handy. So I can't tell what is what now because it's so tiny. So the middle one is, as we can see, is VTX here. And that one is ground. So if the ground doesn't work, so if the VTX doesn't power up, we could take ground from anywhere. So it doesn't really matter. Okay, so that's good. Yes, you guys could see. It's awesome. Okay, perfect. No, not perfect. See, that one didn't stick actually. See how it popped off? Alright, so I got myself a toothbrush and the flux removing thingy. So we should hopefully get that cleaned up somehow. Yeah, it's getting clean, I think, or just getting wet. Yeah, it's clean. Now we allow that to dry a bit. We got a shitload everywhere. So, yeah, and we should definitely clean this whole board before applying the thing once we're done here. So the conformal coating can stick everywhere, and we don't have any particles that are just stuck between maybe like 2 pins here, and then have them just short out, and then we're basically screwed. So we don't want that. Alright, there we go. That's clean now. Is it dry already? Oh, it needs some time. That's fine. It should dry right away when we hit it with the soldering iron anyway. Alright, so where's the solder? So let's just redo this one. We're going to do ground again. See how good it sticks. Hopefully this time it'll stick. I think it doesn't want to stick at all. What the hell is the problem here? Alright, where's the flux again? Here it is. So again, if the ground doesn't want to stick, then we'll just take ground from somewhere else. I had that issue last time also with this. It just doesn't want to go. It's insane. I'm gonna get so much shit for this on the comments. No, you should have done this. No, you should have done that. And no, I should not have, because that worked. So yeah, I'm just kidding, guys. So what do we have here? See, like for example, these ESCs. These are test ESCs. These are not in production from FlyColor. It's a D-Shot 32, BL 32 ESC. And it has some nice silicone wires. So I haven't even tested these. I'm gonna steal some of this because it's yellow, and we need yellow anyway. So there we go, stolen. And that's going to be good for me. So that's what I'm going to use for video here. Let's cut this guy off now. I haven't even tested them yet. I need to test them and give them feedback on them. So these in theory should be good. However, I told them, I requested them. I told them, you guys should really, I mean, unless you have very good price, I mean, that's good. And they're good ESCs, that's awesome. But I mean, at least put the current sensor in there because, you know, there's a lot of competition now. And there's a lot of good ESCs out there. A lot of good ones now. So people need to step up their game a tiny bit here. Alright, so we just prepared the wire. And we need to focus. And we need to zoom in on right there. And your shit needs to focus some more. There we go. There we go. And we should clean that. Okay. So we have to do that right there. We have to do that right there. I really don't want to go. Okay, I have to grab tweezers. grab it in a way where I don't block your view, and at the same time I can get this guy in. Okay, right there. Perfect. There we go. And for beginners, this is going to be very difficult. So yeah, take that into consideration. Now I'm going to lift it up, see if I got any cold joints. Oh, we're good. Strong enough. Silicone, perfect. Alright, so now we're going to do the same thing for the camera. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to steal another yellow line from another one that are closed. So let me just quickly look for some wires, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I found more silicone wires here, so that's going to be awesome. And pretty tiny, so it's going to be very good. So let's remove this guy and do that. We're going to get our solder once we find it. If you like silicone wires, write me a comment. Because the pain of shitty wires is just unbelievable with these guys. So camera's right there, so we need ground, which is ground's right there for the camera, where it says cam. So let's just go in. Be careful with the capacitors there. There we go. We got this guy in. Perfect. Where did I put the other wire now? Alright, found him. This guy is white, so white's going to be positive here. Let's just do the same thing we did there. Perfect. Trim some of this guy off. 5-volt right there. Actually, let's give him ground. I mean, let's make this one video, because it's going to be a pain to actually go back to the middle wire later on. So there we go. Alright, so I need another different color here for something. So that's too short. Alright, so I just found another red tiny silicone wire, which is super awesome. There we go. You guys can see? Yep, you guys can see. Perfect, now we got our camera. Pretty long wires right now, and later on we can just put them to our need, really. Extend them or make them smaller or whatever. Alright, so what's left here now? Camera, VTX, and then, oh yeah, the receiver. The receiver. So where is it? There it is. So this one's pretty crazy here. Now from our testing, I don't know if you've missed it, we figured out that iBus is a hell of a lot faster than FlySky. I mean, it's not the protocol that's fast. They're both the same thing, really. Actually, SBus is better, but it's a problem with the radios themselves. They take very long time to let this stuff to send actually the packets here. So I'm going to quickly go online and see if I could find a pinout for this, because I want to rip off this connector and solder. So hold on, let me just double check everything. What does that say? So this is VCC and this is ground. So we could take ground from here, and then that's VCC, the first pad. Which one's SBus? It's the third one down. And in theory, nope, we don't have that theory. Let's open this guy. But we don't lose the paper, because just in case we don't find anything, we can still keep its orientation, especially if you only have one. Because if you only have one, you're basically going to have to look at other people's builds and stuff to figure out how it looked like, and maybe in this picture you didn't really tell, or you saw it but this guy had a different one. So yeah, just take that into consideration doing this stuff. So the receiver is one of the most important things here, because when these assholes short out, you don't get a failsafe sometimes. Sometimes you get full throttle to the moon, or full throttle to your face, and then you just basically hurt yourself or hurt someone around you. So it's not a joke. I'm going to be flying this in my car. I'm not going to be, as soon as I set this up in the rain, I'm not going to stand outside. Alright, so I think that's iBus right there, this one right there, but I'm not sure. 3.3 volt. Okay, so we have ground, that's for sure. VCC is the second one in, and the third one is the iBus, SBus, or iBus. Yeah, that's what we want, iBus. Alright, well, we're gonna have to remove this anyways, so there's nothing here. Nothing here, but let's just keep it for orientation now. So let me quickly check on the internet, see if I can find a pinout or data sheet or something on this guy. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, so what I've done here is I put my multimeter in continuity mode, and we're going to take a look here. And we said this one is VCC, I believe. Yeah, so we're going to try to, well, it's obvious they're touching here, but we're going to double check the third pin. There's no point really. Oh no, there is. So let's just check this guy. See where we have other iBus. Okay, so we don't have an iBus anywhere else. Sorry about the camera not focusing, but I'm busy at the moment. So it's in there. This says iBus kind of, so let's just try it out. So this is iBus as we know. Yep, that's perfect. So that's iBus. So we're gonna solder a wire here for iBus. And this is ground. This is VCC, which is 5 volt. And let's see if these two are bridged. Any of these, then maybe it'll make our life easier. Nope, it won't. All right, so we're gonna put power to this guy, and we're gonna give it ground from this guy. Let's just double check if they're both also grounded the same. Yeah, okay. So, all right. So we're gonna put ground, VCC, and then iBus is gonna be here, and we're gonna rip this guy off right now. So let's just do that now. All right, let's see. Ripping this guy off, you got to be very careful. Just grab him, well, depending on what you have. Usually if you just grab it and just slowly start picking it up, it'll pop off. We don't want to rip the pads, so hold on. There we go. So I'm going to grab him like so. And just, there we go. We didn't get all of it, but that's getting there. There we go. Perfect. Almost perfect. Just grab this guy now. I mean, in theory, we should not have ruined any of the pads, and we didn't. We ruined that last one, but we don't need that last one. Perfect. Now we can waterproof this guy. So, and again, we're going to give VCC to that pad right there. And then we're going to give it, no, actually, I forgot. Yeah, ground. The second one's VCC. And the iBus is right there. So, yeah, let's do that now, actually. You know what? We're going to double check again because, you know, I always say better be safe than sorry. And I don't want to go look for another one right now. So yeah, so if this one is ground, so we're not going to do anything to this one. This one we're going to take it from here. VCC, we're going to put the 5 volt here, and the iBus, which is this one, we're going to put it right there, see? So it's going to be perfect. Yes, perfect. Alright, let's turn this guy off. So let's prepare him, and then we will get started here. So let's prepare the pads here first, and I think I just ran out of solder. Not yet. Alright. There goes the multimeter. Alright. So that's ground. This is going to be 5 volt. Make sure it's not touching anything. Oh, this is going to be a pain in the ass. There we go. Okay, so we're just going to add a little bit more here after we clean the tip of the soldering iron. And I don't recommend you use the same tip as me. I just got used to this, and I like using this because it's just, for me, it's universal. Some people will disagree, some people will agree. And that was our iBus pad, so perfect. Alright. Where are our wires? So here's a red one. So I'm going to do it like this because I'm right-handed. Come here, Mr. Antenna. We're going to put that guy right there, like a so. Actually, maybe I'm going to remove some of the wire here, shrink it a little bit more even. This is not a silicone wire. These are the wires that came with the VTX. I just cut them off because we're going to rip off that connector anyways. So, And in theory that took hold. Yep, that's perfect. It's not touching anything else, is it? Nope. No, it's not going to be touching anything, so that's good. Alright, now we're going to get our I-bus, and I'm going to put a white wire here, and it's that one right there. Let's shrink it also, just make it shorter here, because then we reduce the chance of, or risk of, damaging it from the wire just popping up somewhere else and touching something it's not supposed to. So right there is perfect. I actually can't see. That's good, actually. So that's perfect. Now ground should be the easiest because it's right there on the corner for us. So just move those out of the way. There we go. So we got ourselves a receiver. So this is going to be a bit tricky here. So, I mean, we can bind it first. Well, I'm going to use a clear heat shrink for this guy, and I'm going to remove this paper. And we're going to have to make sure this guy is super clean before we start putting conformal coating on him. So I'm going to leave this step for a little bit later now. What we are going to do, though, is we're going to solder this guy to the flight controller there, because we are going to do the flight controller. We're going to hit it with conformal coating, hopefully in this episode. That's what I'm going for right now, and maybe we'll do this as well. So, but I think we'll start with this. It's a little bit better, and then we can, or no, we'll do one side of this, but it's going to be a bit of a pain to keep it somewhere that's not going to be playing around and actually contaminate this. So you know what, we're going to leave that a little bit later. What we're going to do is we're going to grab our VTX here, and we're going to rip this connector off now. Now, like I said before, I think this is one of the best cheap VTXs you can get to waterproof for two reasons. One, we're going to, this part right here, it's not a connector. I'm actually going to remove this, and I'm going to put a normal pigtail antenna on it, like this guy. Better for me. This is my preference. So maybe it's a stupid thing to do because of the rain. It might ruin the signal, but we'll figure it out, and then it'll be a learning experience. We can leave it at that. So let's just take a look at the connector here. We have audio, which is all the way on the left once it focuses. As you can see, audio, video, 5-volt ground. So they're pretty much labeled, so we can just pop this guy right off. And I'm going to use this one right here. So you have to be very careful because there's a lot of components next to it, so try to pull nice and easy. We don't want to risk damaging the pads here. There we go. They came off nice. This guy, move, buddy. See, that just ruined the whole thing, but that's fine. It's ground. That wasn't supposed to come out. So don't take these metal parts out here. But it's totally fine here. It's just the paint. Yeah, that's okay. So yeah, just be careful. Don't remove these side ones here, and you'll be totally fine. So now let's just hit these with a little bit of solder. Clean up here a little tiny bit. Alright, we don't need this here. Let's get some flux, because flux will make our life easier here. It'll just be very nice and clean and tidy. That's perfect. And the wires are here, so that's fine. Let's just do this now then. We're also going to remove this here. So we're going to get this out of the way now. And we've already coated the other side, so we really don't have to go back to it here, this side, but we have to coat. So let's just start by removing this guy here. And this is the perfect opportunity for my new tool here, so you guys don't see anything. I mean, people that complain about my helping hands. Alright, so this is perfect right now. This is holding for us very well. So I'm going to remove this guy here. I don't know if it's, no, it doesn't seem like it's lead. It seems like it's going off nice and easy. So that's perfect. All right. Okay. Just take a look how this was going. So we know these sides are going to be ground, and the middle one is the signal. And let's get the dipolar here, and let's get started. There it is. Okay, so there it is. Now we're going to begin by so you don't want any of this outer part to touch the middle pin or where you're going to solder basically the middle pin there. So I'm going to put them off to one side. You don't have to put them to two sides because both sides are ground anyways. So just make sure they're nice here, as you can see, like that. And now I'm just going to grab this. Okay. Perfect. As you can see here, you want to keep that plastic part right there to block the shielding, which is the wire outside, from touching that pin. Alright, so that's very good. It's very, very good here. Okay, so let's grab these guys. So we need it for you guys to see here. Okay, we're going to apply solder on the tip now, and then probably shorten it out a bit depending. So, and try not to melt the middle part. I know it's hard to focus now, but we'll fix that right now a little bit. We're just so tiny. All right. So what we want to do is we want to solder that in right there, but I want to get it flush, so I'm going to cut some of that off right there. So let's just cut some of that off. There we go. And right there I think is perfect. So we can just hit that right there. And then we can, you know, manipulate or just maneuver the outer part to wherever we want after we get this part in. There we go. That's it. It's that simple. Alright. So if you keep moving this a lot, that will break off, and it does happen. So don't think it doesn't happen. It happens very easily. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to maneuver this guy to go in here, but this is too long now. We should obviously cut some of these guys off here. There's too many wires. So I actually have a better idea. So let's just add solder to it first. Now we can worry about it. Okay. Alright. So I'm gonna trim some of that off now. So I think like that is gonna be very nice. There we go. In theory, that should be done. I mean, it's not the nicest job out there, but this will do the job just perfect. Let's just take a look at it now. That is not going anywhere. It's very nice. So you can see that none of that white part is touching any of this. It's very nice. It's not the best. I'm saying it's not the best, but I'm satisfied and I'm pleased with it. So this is very good. There we go, we're done with this guy now. Now let's just solder on the wires to it. And the wires are actually connected to the flight controller right now. So if we did this and then we could just move it out of the way and just do that and have this hanging. Yeah, let's do that, why not? So let's just solder the wires for this guy now. Okay. Maybe the helping hands can probably help here. I mean, that's their name. So let's see how good they are for something like this. Okay, move these back a little bit. We need the farther ones, I think. Yeah, they'll bend better here. Okay. Alright, so I got it. It's pretty cool. It's like standing there, it's like saying solder for me, master. It's pretty awesome. It's weird, the stance that I got it to hold, so yeah. Alright, so we want to kind of keep the camera back, and I just want to zoom so I can actually have my arms be freely to move inside. So we can see here we have V, which is video. Let's get this guy. So that's V video right here, 5 volt and ground. So oh no, wait. We almost messed everything up. So this is the 5 volt output. So what we need is battery and ground and video. Okay, so good thing my brain turned on right now, actually. So let's just do the video first, since it's all the way over there, and it'll be a little bit easier for us to do. All right. Let's prepare the wire here. Trim this guy a bit. Alright, so there we go. I don't know how long this video is going to be. Alright, so let's do video now. So there's video right there. And the camera is recording. Good. So video's in. Let's get power. So like I said, I like this flight controller because this flight controller has the filtration and reduces the chance of you actually needing a capacitor, but it still comes down to your ESC and motor combination. These ESCs, they seemed good, but they weren't the best. But I mean, you're only paying $11 and they're pretty damn good for $11. They compete with the mid-range ESCs in terms of noise and holding their phase, so that's why I was very impressed. I'm very happy with these because they're cheap, and if we do burn them in our learning process, it's not going to be a very bad, loss here. I mean, it's good. We gain experience, and at the same time, they're pretty cheap, so it's a big plus for me. What if it turns out to be they're like one of the best ESCs ever? So that'd be pretty crazy. Be a good finding, actually. Okay, so we prepared the wires here. Let's trim them a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to put the ground there because it's farther and it makes our life a little bit easier, and I like making my life easier. I'm pretty sure everyone else does. No one wants to make anything more difficult on themselves. There we go, right there, I think. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay. Alright, so I don't have the best grip because the way that I have to approach it and how the camera is in my face is making it hella difficult. That's fine, those two are ground anyways. Alright, so now we need positive here. The tip should be cleaned for this guy. So always make sure you clean the tip. I know it's annoying, but it's better than ruining something. Sorry for the focus, but try my best to fix that. But I really want to get this guy in. Yep, that's perfect. The ground just popped right off. There we go. Just got them back in. So in theory here, we're done, kind of. Just all that's left really is to do the camera. And the camera, I think we're gonna leave that for another episode because this is just gonna be very, very time consuming. But what we can do now is actually we are going to test and see if this turns on and nothing actually catches on fire. So let's just do that together. I think it's the best because we have not tested this after we added on the other side the silicone coating here. So here we got ourselves a battery. We're zoomed out, and 1, 2. Let's move this guy out of here. Let's put him here. I don't want him shorting out on some that, you know, it wasn't supposed to short out on. So let's move my hand. It's moment of truth. Did you see that delay it turning on? I almost shit myself. I was like, oh hell no. Perfect. It's running perfect. I don't know how to use it just yet. I'm holding the button down. So we're on C, I guess. Oh, now we're on high, low, medium, maybe, high. Why, what does this reach to? I don't even know the specs of this. I can feel it getting warm. So, okay, well, that's good. So it works. That's for sure. It's working, no weird noises. All the ESC is booted. We checked in beta flight. So far, everything is going good. I'm very happy. And yeah, so this methodology hopefully will turn out great. So let's just twist these. No, actually, we don't want to twist them just yet. So what we're going to do, actually, we're going to start with our... We got the camera. Oh no, we can't. Not yet. We have to solder on our receiver now, actually, before we go further. So let's do that now, so we can hit this up with our first layer of heat shrink. And this one was not silicone. I should not have used it. Oh man, it's like almost silicone, but not silicone. It's like I'm almost there, but I'm really not silicone. But they don't tell you I'm really not silicone. They try to lie to you. Okay. I think this is going to be one of the longest builds unless I cut most of it out here. Right. There we go. There we go. And there we not go. So let's trim these guys down. So we have 5 volt, we have an iBus, and we have the ground for the receiver here. So this is the receiver right now. We're doing, if I forgot to mention it. Let's bring the flight controller in. And I'm going to put it on RX6, which will be UART 6, which is right there. You see RX6. So let's start with 5 volt because it's going to be inside. And in theory, it would be the hardest to get to afterwards. So that's right there. Make sure the tip is clean. Okay. And zoom in for you guys. So there's 5 volt right there. Okay, perfect. Ground. Perfect. And UART 6, which is right there, RX6, because we're using iBus. Perfect. I'm going to kind of move this away like this, the end of the wire, because when I come to hit it with the silicone, I don't want this to be touching down and then actually, you know, not put this conformal coating on this side here and thus creating a short and ruining the whole project for us. So we have to be very careful with this. I really want this to, I want at least 5 flights. That is my goal. If I have 5 flights in like super hardcore rain, I'm gonna, you know, consider this a test well done in a way. So we're gonna see where it fails, and when it fails, I really want to know exactly where it failed, and so we're gonna have to be very cautious, or not cautious. All right, so Okay, we got the receiver. We have the camera wires. We don't have the camera done just yet. I need to look into this a little bit more. Maybe I have a better solution. So we're going to come back after it dries and we're going to completely do it. So this is going to be like part, I think, 3 or 2 of the official build. So far we know everything is working kind of. So let's actually plug it in and see if this guy is working because we have not done that yet. So let's just double check everything. He should catch, I said he should catch fire. I mean, we should see an LED turn on here, hopefully. Yeah, that's perfect. What about this guy? Perfect. Yes, I'm very pleased. So let's just start cleaning up the flight controller. And later on, possibly tonight, I'm not going to make a video of this. I'm going to remove 2 of these motors so I can flip the flight controller upside down so I can actually do the bottom side. So in theory now, I think we are completely done at soldering everything to the flight controller. And we can begin the process of adding the conformal coating, which we're going to do right now. So let's firstly just clean it out a little bit. Just, you know, this had some... Just double check all the wires are going to stay in place also. You don't want to add too much pressure because you could pop one of those components out. And that'll just be a very bad day for you. And I do have some alcohol here, and that's what I'm going to do. There we go. So make sure it's nice and clean. I can see stuff popping off here and there. We want to make sure between the connections it's clean also. Because if it shorts out right there from the beginning, you're screwed. You've done everything for nothing. Oh, and if it happens to me, I'll be so pissed off. To be honest, I'd actually laugh and then just be like, fuck it. We'll come back for it later. I think it's clean enough for our first try. So I don't see anyone cleaning it. So, well, didn't see anyone cleaning it. So now what we're going to do is, and if you missed the previous episode, it's pretty cool. This is like modified conformal coating. And when you put this on there, it'll have a different color. So we'll actually do half of it here, so you can see how it looks with and without it. And it's going to take a while to dry, so... It smells so good. Alright, so it's just, I think it's good here. We want to make sure we get all the pins, because, you know, you don't want the pins to touch, because that's the most important thing. There's a lot of important things also, but that's just like one of them. You don't want anything to touch, really. This is why I moved this guy a little bit, if you remember when I was soldering him, so I kind of get under him and make sure I get those guys right there. So what I'm going to do here for you guys, I know it's annoying, but I'm trying to make it stay focused. So we're just going to do half of it now so I could just show you with the UV light, and I'm just very curious to see it myself also, so that's another reason why I'm doing it. We can see parts that we missed and parts that we didn't miss. Alright, let's hit it with the light here. You can see the flight controller here, we didn't get all the pins. So let's just see if I can do that with my left hand here. Right here, these guys. These are very, very important. Seems good. Seems good to me. So I'm gonna hit it. I'm gonna hit the other side now. I should have cleaned that flux better, maybe. No, we're just gonna hit it. Fuck it. So like I said, we want to make sure you get all the pins. You know, you can also dip it if you wanted to, but that's up to you. But I'm not. I really do like that whole aspect that it's modified with UV coating or whatever it is, so we can actually see if we missed a spot. Because just looking at it, it's very difficult to tell if you got everywhere or not. I mean, you can go over it a trillion times, but you can probably always miss the same spot. So let's just take a look at it now. Now we should basically got all of it here, so let's just see. I'm curious here by the wires. I think that's, yeah, I see we didn't get that part. I don't know if you could see it kind of. How does it look like on camera? No, it just looks like it was a shadow. Oh, it was a shadow. I think we got everywhere, really. I might hit this with another coat tonight, so I'm gonna let this coat dry. And then I'll come back and hit it with another coat. So far it seems good. I don't see any problems here. Okay, I see a little bit that wasn't hit. That's on the ground wire of motor 1 here. Oh, damn, that was a big one. Well, now we know for sure we got it. Let's just do these again. The VTX is the most important part because I don't like it. It's very close to a lot of things here. It takes one drop. That's it. One drop to be between the capacitor and the video, and then basically we're screwed. So I don't want to give a chance to that drop. Especially to see these wires here. I don't like that whole way that it's done there. I'm going to put a whole drop right there. Should be good. Alright, so in theory now, we are complete with one side of our flight controller. Should we do our VTX here? Should we just lay it on top like so and do our first layer? Oh, we can, why not, right? So let's just grab a couple screws here. And let's do that right now, actually. I mean, it's not going to get in the way of anything. Is it touching? No, it's not touching down there. I just got myself just regular screws. It doesn't really matter right now. Fuck it. Let's do this side also. There we go. So we're going to do the VTX also since we're here. So let's get that started with. And this is the reason why I liked not a connector, because we can actually put the coating on there and reduce the chance of it burning out. I might stick this in the water later on, once it dries, before we take it out. It was actually requested, well, not requested, it was suggested by one of the comments, and I do forget your name, I forgot, because, you know, I'm just a lot of people, right? And I'm sorry for that, but we will actually stick it in water and test it out. So I'm curious also. So let's just grab the light now. It sucks on the camera, you can't see it that good. Maybe if I could do something with it. Can't really do anything here. Can you see that little line right there? Which is right here. So that part we missed, but it doesn't really matter, but we're still gonna hit it. And here we have a huge line right there that's not touched. Alright, so let's just do those right now. Alright, so we're done with our first coats like this. We already finished the other side. We made the video of it, us finishing the other side of the VTX. Now, you know, this should be good like this, so what's left is the next episode hopefully will be completely done. So all I'm gonna do is we'll do this one together also, and we'll do the camera together. I'm gonna figure out the best solution for this. So I'm actually gonna do a couple test runs before we actually do it, because I don't want, if someone's following right along with me, to actually burn it or anything. So I'm gonna double check the easiest method for us and what I think is the best method. But currently the one that I said earlier, I believe this is the one I'm gonna be sticking to, which is we're gonna remove this connector and solder them, and then close the case back up after we treat it with obviously some of the conformal coating here. The sensor is going to be a bit difficult, but we're not going to touch the sensor. See if we could touch around the sensor is one thing we'll do. And you double make sure that it's in focus, and possibly put some hot glue around here, the sides, so we reduce the chance of water going in here. And yeah, once we put the cover back in, put some hot glue around the wires. And I think that's the best way. So it can change. I'm going to figure it out, see what I could find. This one's open because I was actually testing for latency. And I have some new methods, and it's going to be pretty interesting. So I'm just perfecting it right now. And, well, that's it, guys. So that's going to conclude it for this video. I'm really sorry that I couldn't finish it right now, but it still needs more time. And we'll come back to this as soon as possible. Hopefully I'll have it done by the weekend, because we do have rain now. And I really want to go flying. And my brother's coming now so we're going to be just chilling. And I want to take this, and we're actually going to go see how it goes. And, well, that's it, guys. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you guys have any questions or any suggestions, feel free to let me know. And I will see you next time. See you guys. Take care.